Pixie and welcome to Pixie's Pit. On today's episode, I will be talking about last night's AEW Grand Slam and trying Pringles Moa Burger Halo. And there's another graphic on the side. And I also have Mountain Dew Frostbite. Okay, so I'm told that in Halo, a moa is a creature that's similar to an ostrich. So that's kind of interesting. Also, the Pringles mascot seems to have a gaming headset on, which is kind of cool. All right, so let's open these up and see. Okay. The tab's pretty sticky there. Got it. Awesome. So let's pour some of these in our big bowl here and get a kind of a party vibe happening. Ooh, these are wavy. I love wavy chips. Okay, so they are quite seasoned. They have kind of a yellowy orangish color and they have those cool kind of wavy ridges to them, which is awesome. So let's do a smell. It smells like barbecue to me. All right, so let's taste it and see. Interesting. It tastes like barbecue mixed with a little bit of ginger, and then there's a little bit of a burn that happens. Let's keep trying. That tastes like ramen. Getting like a ginger beef thing happening. The heat kind of gradually builds a little bit and lingers. Okay. I would say that they taste like beef. I get a bit of a beef vibe. I get a barbecue taste. They are hot, but not super hot. I would say maybe like more into a mild level of heat. And they are really, really good, and they do kind of taste like ramen. I'm going to give these a 9 out of 10 horns in the air. I think they're going to be the kind of thing that people are either going to really love or really hate. So you can always try them out and let me know in the comments what you think. All right, let's cool down that heat with some Mountain Dew Frostbite. Now I love this can. It has a shark on it coming out of a glacier, and then it has all these sort of trees that are snow frosted on it. I just absolutely think that the can looks incredible. I remember when it was the cool thing for all the skaters to drink Mountain Dew. If you're a skater and you drink Mountain Dew, let me know in the comment section below. So let's get the straw in here. So I see that it's kind of a blue color, which is cool. Oh my God. Very, very fizzy. The flavor is very, very mild. To me, it reminds me a little bit of blue raspberry mixed with honeydew melon. But it's very, very mild, and it also reminds me of kind of a blue slushy as well. It has, I think it has a little bit of an aftertaste. Let's try it again. I like it though. I think more than blue raspberry, I definitely get kind of the honeydew melon vibe to it, like a mild carbonated honeydew melon. There is definitely a slight aftertaste on that. The carbonation's lovely, the packaging's great. I think I'm going to give that one about a 7 out of 10 horns in the air just because of the aftertaste, but I think it's a solid product. I think they're both solid products, and if you find them near you, you should definitely check them out. The show opened with Bryan Danielson versus the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega with Don Callis. Omega gave chops to Danielson, and also he received a kick from Danielson. Bryan Danielson also gave Omega kicks to the chest. Omega used a headlock, a shoulder tackle, then he actually leapfrogged and did a cartwheel. How awesome is that? Danielson worked on Omega's wrist and gave him chops and kicks in the corner. Omega also used chops. Danielson delivered a tope suicida to Omega on the outside of the ring. He jumped off of the turnbuckle and delivered a flying knee to Omega's arm. Omega gouged at Danielson's eyes. Danielson's chest was several shades of purple. Omega used an Irish whip on Danielson, knocked him down many times, kneed him to the abdomen, and delivered several kicks to his spine. Omega tried for a moonsault, but Danielson got his knees up. Danielson got a 2 count with the Hurricanrana. After delivering a Hurricanrana, Omega threw himself over the top rope onto Danielson. Danielson rolled up Omega, and Omega countered. Danielson kneed Omega from over the top rope onto the ramp. Omega V-triggered Danielson after gathering momentum from running from the top of the plexiglass ramp. He then used a buckle bomb. The commentators said that it looked like a car crash, and you know what? It did. This match was non-stop. It was action-packed from start to finish, and it was pay-per-view caliber for free on TV. How awesome is that? It appeared both men were destroying each other. Omega used a missile dropkick, lateral press, a heel kick, and he was looking for an avalanche dragon suplex, but Danielson escaped. Danielson used an avalanche back suplex on Omega. Shivani says these two are kicking each other's ass. That's an understatement. The fans were going wild. Danielson used a shoulder capture suplex. Omega used an avalanche dragon suplex and a V-trigger. Danielson used a rolling elbow strike, and Omega gives headbutts to the back of Danielson's head. Danielson countered the one-winged angel with a reverse Hurricanrana. Danielson starts doing kicks and elbow strikes to Omega, and also stomped on Omega's head. Omega uses a V-trigger, right hands. Danielson was applying the label lock, but Omega got to the ropes. The time expires, and the match was a draw. Young Bucks and Cool, the Super Click, come down to the ring to Super Kick. Danielson, Jurassic Express, and Christian Cage run down to the ring to make the save. In the next segment, CM Punk comes out and says, "I'm glad I'm not wrestling tonight. How do you follow that match?" And you know what? He was right. He says that part of Team Taz is from New York, and they don't even like them there. He says it's a love fest between him and the fans, but says that Hobbs and Team Taz should have finished the job, that you slept on the legend of CM Punk, and it's not his job to wake you up. It's my job to tuck you in. On Rampage, Powerhouse Hobbs is going to sleep. CM Punk hugs actor Stephen Amell, who's in the front row. I guess he's there to promote his wrestling-themed show Heels, where CM Punk actually guest starred. If anyone is interested, it is on Stars, and I think it's not bad. I certainly don't mind Alexander Ludwig from Vikings. The next match was MJF with Wardlow versus Brian Pillman Jr., also accompanied by Julia Hart. Pillman used forearms on MJF and double leg. MJF poked Pillman in the eyes. Pillman used a hip toss and a backdrop on MJF. The two exchanged face slaps. Pillman rolled MJF up with a sunset flip. Pillman delivered a high cross body pass, a thrust kick, and a power slam. On the outside of the ring, MJF used Julia Hart as a shield and grabbed her wrist. Pillman connected with a drop kick to MJF's jaw, and after that you see MJF standing kind of feeling his jaw. MJF used the salt of the earth, and Pillman tapped out. Next, Jericho and Hager are being interviewed backstage. Hager starts with the fat-faced dipshit, yeah, yeah, yeah chant referring to Lambert. He tells the Men of the Year that you're going to get spanked. Jericho says Big Hoss and Le Champion are the hardest hitting team in AEW. He says he and Hager are feral. They are hungry and ready to snack on some MMA meatheads on Rampage. He also says, "I'll bite that nose off and spit it into the fifth row like Haku in Japan." The next match was Malachi Black versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, with Brandi and Arn. The announcer says Malachi is intimidating and unpredictable, but very talented. Cody comes down to the ring, and he actually is wearing a bizarre outfit that looks like a long blue Superman cape that fans out. It's like a giant blue cape with a trail, which is super odd, really. Malachi sweeps Cody's legs. Cody rolls out of the ring. Actually, Brandi gets into the ring, sits cross-legged opposite Malachi, and gives him the double middle fingers and mouths, F you. Black puts Cody in a submission move that was very octopus-like. Cody jumped off of the top rope onto Black, who was on the ramp. He brought Cody back into the ring and delivered punches and kicks. Malachi almost took Cody's head off with a roundhouse kick that was so powerful that it sent Cody flying outside of the ring. Cody delivered 2 chop blocks and a dragon screw to Black. Malachi used a back elbow. Cody tried for the crossroads, but Black countered, sending Cody flying across the ring once again. Cody hit the Cody cutter and the crossroads for a 2 count. Arn Anderson got up on the ring apron. Cody accidentally collides with Arn. Malachi rolled Cody up for the win after spraying black mist into Cody's eyes. The next match was FTR with Tully versus Sting and Darby Allin. Slightly alternative versions of face paint were worn by both Darby and Sting. Sting scoop slammed FTR and then dropped a leg. Dax dropped a leg on Sting, but Sting used a shoulder tackle. Darby used a shotgun drop kick followed by 2 coffin drops. On the 3rd coffin drop, he got caught and then slammed into the edge of the ring. Sting got a 2 count with a spine buster. Sting also used a crossbody. Sting countered a tombstone pile driver with a Stinger splash. Sting avoided running into a chair that was brought into the ring by Tully and hit Tully instead. Darby used a coffin drop and Sting got the pin with a scorpion deathlock. Guevara challenges Miro and says he's going to get the win and buy Fuego del Sol a car. Can anybody buy me a car? Or what about an Ibanez gem? You know I'm just kidding. The main event of the evening saw Ruby Soho versus the AEW Women's World Champion Dr. Britt Baker DMD with Rebel and Jamie Hayter. Ruby started with a heel trip to Britt and a fishhook. Ruby delivered a knee to the face and flew off of the top rope onto both Rebel and Hayter. Baker used a thrust kick and swinging neck breaker. Ruby used a headbutt. Britt used a sling blade clothesline. Ruby used a senton for a 2 count. Britt used a neck breaker and an avalanche air raid crash. And also curb stomps. Ruby used a no future kick and Hayter distracted Ruby. Baker used the lockjaw and forced Ruby to tap out. This Friday's AEW is having a 2-hour Grand Slam Rampage edition. Don't forget to like and subscribe because we're trying to build a cool community here. Please let me know in the comments if you've tried the Pringles, Halo Moa Burger Chips and what you thought of them, if you play Halo or other video games, and which ones are the best. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye and good night.